Good morning, students. Today, I, Kuldeep Sahu, your English teacher, is going to explain you a very beautiful story written by the author Mulk Raj Anand. Students, the name of the story is The Lost Child. Dear students, the story is based on the theme of close bond that children share with their parents. The lost child forgets all about his desires and yearns deeply for his parents when he fails to find them. Dear students, in this chapter, the author is talking about the festival of spring. From the wintry shades of narrow lanes and alleys emerged a gaily clad humanity. As soon as the spring is getting over, at that time, people are getting out. Some people walked, some rode on horses, others sat being carried in bamboo and bullock carts. But among them there was one little boy who ran between his father's legs, and he was brimming. Brimming means full of. He was brimming over with life and laughter. When the child was going, sometimes he was lagging behind, so parents were saying, "Come, child, come." As he lagged behind, fascinated by the toys in the shops that lined the way. By this line, we can say fascinated means attracted by the toys. So, whenever the child was lagging behind, parents said, "Come, child, come." After listening the voice, he always hurried towards his parents, his feet obedient, following the words, the call of the parents. His eyes still lingering or attracted on the receding toys. As he came to where they had stopped to wait for him, he could not suppress the desire. Suppress means he could not stop thinking about the things, whatever he has seen. Even though he well knew the old cold stare of refusal. Old cold stare of refusal means he was knowing what parents will say in their eyes. But remembering the things, still the boy pleaded, requested, "I want that toy." His father looked at him red-eyed. Red-eyed means angry. His father looked at him red-eyed in his familiar tyrant's way. His mother, melted by the free spirit of the day, was tender and giving him. Mother was just opposite to the father. He was tender, soft. As the nature of mother, "Look, child, what is before you?" So mother tried to console the child and said, "Look, child, what is before you?" It was a flowering mustard field. In front of the child, there was a mustard field, pale like melting gold. The mustard field, while looking like gold, has melted on the fields as it swept across miles and miles of heaven land. There was a group of dragonflies, were bustling about on their gaudy purple wings, intercepting the flight of a lone black bee or butterfly in search of sweetness from the flower. The group of dragonflies was intercepting between the bees and butterflies. The child followed them in the air with his cage. The child tried to follow them because the dragonflies attracted the child till one of them would still its wings and rest, and he would try to catch it. But as soon as the child reached over there, it would go fluttering. The dragonflies flew, flapping up into the air when he had almost caught it in his hands. See, the scene is showing the curiousness, the eagerness of the child. Then his mother gave a cautionary call. "Come, child, come onto the footpath." Seeing him, the mother called again to come on the footpath as he was in the field. By listening the words of mother, he ran towards his parents gaily means happily, and walked abreast of them for a while. Being, however, soon left behind. But what happened? He again soon left behind. The reason? Because he was attracted by the little insects and worms along the footpath that were teeming out from their hiding place to enjoy the sunshine. "Come, child, come." Again his parents called from the shade of a grove where they had seated themselves on the edge of a well. Means while going to the fair, they were having a grove where shades were. So they seated over there on the edge of a well and called the child. He again ran towards them. A shower of young flowers, as soon as he entered, a young flower's shower, petals, fell onto the child. So, as soon as the petals fell onto the hands of child, he forgot his parents. He began to gather the raining petals in his hands, but lo, he heard the cooing of doves. He saw the doves cooing, singing, and ran towards his parents, shouting, "The dove, the dove!" The raining petals dropped from his forgotten hands. In the attraction of dove, he forgot That petals are there in hand. Again the parents called, come child, come. They called to the child. Exactly what is happening here, parents are not attentive. They are just ready to reach to the fair, who had now gone running in wild capers round the banyan tree and gathering him up. They took the narrow, winding footpath which led to the fair through the mustard fields. As they neared the village, the child could see many other footpaths full of thorns, converging to whirlpool of the fair, and felt at once repelled and fascinated by the confusion of the world he was entering. Now, what has happened? As soon as the child entered to the village, he was confused, as he saw a crowd of people going here and there, a lot of people. Now he has reached to the verge of the fair. There he listened. A sweet meat seller hawked gulab jamun, rasgulla, barfi, jalebi. What he listened? A sweet meat seller on the gate, main entrance. He was speaking out about gulab jamun, rasgulla, barfi, jalebi at the corner of the entrance, and a crowd pressed round his counter at the foot of an architecture of many colored sweets. Lot of colored sweets were kept over there with leaves of silver and gold. The child stared open. He was loving barfi, and his mouth watered for the barfi. It was his favorite sweet. I wanted barfi. He slowly murmured. Why slowly? Because he was knowing. Parents will say no, but he half knew, as he begged that his pliya would not be headed out, because his parents would say he was greedy. So without waiting for an answer, he moved on. Here, mark the word greedy. As soon as he moved forward, he saw a flower seller hawked a garland of gulmohar. Now, after sweetmeat, he was attracted towards the flowers. The child seemed irresistibly drawn. He went towards the basket where the flowers lay heaped. Flowers are kept in heap, and half murmured, I want that garland. But he well knew his parents would refuse to buy him those flowers, because they would say that they were cheap. Now see the part of parents. On first part they were saying greedy, now cheap. So without waiting for an answer, he moved on, killing his desires streets. Remaining part will be told to you in next lecture. Thank you.